Hello, viewers. Morning, viewers. Hello, subscribers. Morning, subscribers. It's Sunday morning. Yeah. And you want me to put out some content, huh? Right. All right. I got something for you. I got something for you. Sitting here playing around here. Sitting here messing around here. Yeah. Sunday morning. All right. Let's see. Game Pass haters can't afford Game Pass. You know, they can't afford Game Pass. The Game Pass haters, they can't afford Game Pass. See, they act like they were down with Microsoft. They act like they were Xbox fans, but then they got exposed as soon as the price went up. The prices got to go up. The prices got to go up. Like Robert De Niro say, if it's amateur night. And shout out, and me say what's up to all the actors on Ronin. Anyway, what do we got here? Oh! Listen to this. Activision official must face claims over Microsoft takeover. Judge rules. Let's see. You had the UK, the CMA, and the FTC. They already went at this already, but now a Delaware judge wants to get involved, stick their nose into it, huh? The jealousy and envy of Game Pass, man. Anyway, all right, what do we got here? Let's see here. Shareholders say Activision CEO prioritize own interests. Microsoft wins dismissal of aiding and abiding claims. 74.5 billion takeover close on October 2023. 74.5? Wow. All right, Microsoft, do your thing. All right, let's listen to this. It says here, October 3rd, a Delaware judge said former Activision Blizzard official, including Chief Executive Bobby Kotick, must face most of a lawsuit alleging they shortchanged shareholders when Microsoft bought the Call of Duty game maker for $75.4 billion. See, EA talking about EA trying to brag like, oh, we went private for 50 billion. Microsoft it's like that's pocket change. That's nothing. Anyway, let's see what they're talking about here. It says here, Chancellor Kathleen McCormick of the Delaware Chancery Court said on Thursday the shareholder in the proposed class action can pursue their core claims that Kotick and other Activision directors breached their fiduciary duties. She dismisses two claims against Microsoft. And then it says shareholders led by Swedish pension fund Jundi AP Fonden accused Kotick of rushing into the merger so he could keep his job and 400 million of change of control benefits and insulate himself from the claims. He knew about widespread sexual harassment at Activision. But if you guys remember when the court case was when the court case was happening between the UK, the CMA, the FTC, and Microsoft and Activision, those stuff was already brought up. So why go back at it again? Just saying. Anyway, says here they said that they also said $95 per share takeover price was too low from the outset and looks worse as Activision performance improved during the 21-month regulatory approval process for the merger, which closed in October 2023. Then it says here, in an 83-page decision, McCormick found sufficient allegation that Kotick manipulate the sale process to favor Microsoft, which offered speed deals, certainty, and inferable a friendly landing place. She also found it reasonable, conceivable that Activision director put Kotick interests ahead of those shareholders, including by allowing a lowball takeover price while harassment concerns were depressing Activision stocks. It says here she dismissed claims that Microsoft aided and abetted the alleged breaches, even if the Redmond, Washington-based company may have passively stood by while they occurred. She also dismissed other claims against Activision defendant. Litigation on the merits of a trimmed-down version of the plaintiff complaint can now launch. McCormick wrote, "Game on." Lawyers for the individual defendant and Microsoft did not immediately respond to requests for comments on Friday. And then it says the shareholders' lawyers did not immediately respond to similar requests. And then it says the case is Jundi AP Fondant versus Activision Inc. ETAL Delaware Chancery Court number 2022-1001 in there. Well, according to this article here, so the saga continues, huh? And a decision was already made. Okay, you had the UK, the CMA, the FTC. They all went at Activision, and they all went at Microsoft over the buyout of Activision, right? While that was happening, there were articles bringing up the harassment cases and while that was being they were bringing up harassment cases during the buyout. So what was $68.7 billion deal now is now see if I can get this here. What was $68.7 billion deal is now $75.4 billion. So basically, Microsoft spent some money. Now, it is true. Like, okay, if you buy someone, then you can, while you're buying, you don't have to attack the problem. I mean, when Microsoft was buying Activision Blizzard, could they have gotten involved while into those sexual harassment cases? I think the answer would be no. They probably waited till the deal was over, and then all of a sudden they put their rules and regulation in place and let the employees know how it's going to be when the takeover happened. Now, did Kotick, let's see here, what's this? Did Kotick, where is this? Did Kotick rush into the deal to keep his job? To keep his job? That don't sound right, because once Microsoft bought them, Kotick is not at Activision anymore. He's not running Activision anymore. So because once Microsoft take over, that means Kotick is he's out of there. And now they're saying that they said that it was $95 per share takeover price. This article is on Reuters. It says 95. They also said $95 per share takeover price was too low from the outset. Could it be? We don't know. But I mean, or maybe only Kotick knows. But look, like I've always said, once Facebook name was involved in that, once word got out, I think once word got okay, there was an article on Wired magazine, and I think Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg was on the front cover. This was some years ago, and the two of them, only the two of them was on the front cover, and that lets you know where Microsoft and what Microsoft and Facebook were. So to fast forward now to the Activision Blizzard deal, once Facebook name got mentioned in that deal, once Facebook name got mentioned that Kotick was trying to sell Activision Blizzard to Facebook, and Facebook lost interest, Microsoft saw the opportunity and rushed it. So they said, so basically, if the shares were $95 per share, and you put Activision Blizzard up for sale, and you try to sell it to Facebook, and word got out, and we're talking Activision Blizzard, we're talking Call of Duty, and of course then there is World of Warcraft and StarCraft and Diablo and all that, and Candy Crush and all that. Once that word got out, Microsoft kept their ear or their eyes to the sky, looking. Game Pass was already up. Microsoft just bought ZeniMax. They bought Mahjong for 2.5. They bought ZeniMax Bethesda for 7.5. Game Pass was already up, and then here comes Sean Layden. Game Pass is not sustainable on the article that they had on the gaming Bible.co.uk. They had an article where Sean Layden was sitting there playing chess. He talking about Game Pass is not sustainable. So the moment word got out that Kotick was trying to sell Activision Blizzard to Facebook. And then if you remember the Wired magazine with Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg on the front cover. Once Microsoft saw that, they needed they needed the final piece to Game Pass, and it was Activision Blizzard with Call of Duty. And once they realized that Sony don't have no stake or no shares in Activision Blizzard, they rushed it, and I don't blame them. So to try to bring this back up now, it's kind of like this is 2025. The deal is already the deal already went through the courts. The CMA, the UK. It went through the FTC was looking at it, and then you had Judge what's her name, Jacqueline Scott Corley. She was the judge over the case. She looked at it, and they were going through this. I mean, the case already went through the courts, but now to bring this back up now, after the case is already closed, yeah, it's kind of shaky now, because like, people, I guess people are still like, they're trying to say that the stocks were like 95, the shares were too low. Were they? Or were they right? That's the question. And I think Microsoft was right for not getting involved into they knew that the company was on some shaky grounds, and they saw the opportunity and they seized it. So I don't think Microsoft should be blamed for that. But then it says here, McCormick found sufficient allegation that Kotick manipulated the sales process to favor Microsoft, which offered a speedy deal in certain favorable, friendly landing places. Well, I don't believe that. Me personally, sitting here reading this, I believe that once Facebook name got mentioned in that, and once Facebook, we're talking Facebook, the face of social media. It ain't even Twitter. It ain't even Twitter. Once Facebook name got mentioned in that, and Microsoft saw like who? Facebook? Really? They're not interested? Rush it. And I think that's what they did. Once Facebook turned that deal down and said, nah, probably like passed on it because they got other things to do. They got other things to do with their because they got other things to do with their with their social media platform. Plus they own I think they own I think they own Instagram too, because Facebook is like a two-headed monster. So anyway, it's like once once Facebook name was involved in this, and they turned that deal down, Microsoft saw the opportunity before anybody else got to it. I think that's what really happened, because there were other big names out there like Google. You remember even Sony. There's remember Disney was using EA as a portal to do gaming. There's a whole bunch of big name companies out there with money that can get Activision Blizzard, and Microsoft beat everybody to it. I think that's what really happened, you know. So to try to say Kotick like lower the shares so Microsoft can get it, I think that's a bunch of I don't think so. Microsoft. We're talking Microsoft here. Windows, who runs like what 90% of the software market, or 90%, 80%, 95%, 90% of the software market. They had the money, dude. So that Activision Blizzard was like on a first come first served basis. Whoever had the money, get them. Period. That's what I'm getting from all this. It's like Microsoft just saw the opportunity and just rushed it. Like, nah, we're not gonna let you beat us to it. And I think they had to get it because they had Game Pass to deal with. Having Mahjong and then having ZeniMax Bethesda is one thing, but Activision Blizzard with Call of Duty and World of Warcraft, they needed that piece to solidify Game Pass, and I think that's what they just beat everybody to it. I just think that's what they did. But for Judge McCormick now, she's saying game on. That means now that she's gonna have to like, okay, try to go through the Judge Corley decisions and see what's what. So we'll see. But I think Microsoft just beat everybody to it. You know, everybody. You know, I think Microsoft just beat everybody to it. You know, because Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer even said it months ago. Like he says, what he said, Sony and Nintendo is not. What he say? He said Sony and Nintendo is not our competitors. I mean, he looked down the road and saw who all his competitors were out there in the tech world, and Microsoft know who are the big giants out there. So, once Activision Blizzard came up on the radar, they couldn't pump fake or hesitate or delay. They had to do it now, and that's what they did. So yeah, but to bring up now sexual harassment cases now, to try to use that now after the CMA and the UK, and they were all looking at this. You're like, huh? So yeah, I just I think I think Microsoft will be I think Microsoft will be successful at this again, because the judge is not even going to charge them for everything. So I think they're trying to go after Kotick per se, but I think Kotick is like, maybe he was just reaching a point where like, okay, you know what? He's like, okay, it's time. Maybe he's like he was reaching at the point like, okay, I need to step up and relieve my position to another company that can run Activision Blizzard. I think that's what he came down to. It's like, yeah, probably getting up there in age, and he wants like, yeah. Anyway, man, we'll see. We'll see what comes of this. We'll see what comes of this. But McCormick saying game on. Okay, who else? So yeah, stop it. Anyway, stop it. Microsoft attorneys will be looking at this. They will be looking at this. They will be looking at this because they went to. To go through the UK is one thing. United Kingdom is one thing, and go have the CMA look at this. That's another. And then you had the FTC on the other hand. I was looking at this, and you had you had the judge in California looking at this. Microsoft went through the ringer, so now, what's gonna be the outcome of this? It's up in the air now, you know. But we'll see. But I just think Microsoft. To me, I just think Microsoft just beat everybody to it. You know, I think they just beat everyone. You know, the moment the news got out that they were on it, you know, they just, because remember, Game Pass just was this Game Pass was the big thing now, and you know it was ZeniMax Bethesda. Microsoft bought ZeniMax Bethesda for $7.5. Game Pass, Microsoft was making moves, you know, and I think they were making moves. So now, you know, Mike, they were good. They were good. I mean, they bought Mahjong. They had ZeniMax Bethesda, and they were doing their things, and they were releasing games. They were good, but opportunity knock again. And the moment Microsoft got word of Activision Blizzard being sold to Facebook, but then Facebook turned it down. Opportunity strike, and they just rushed it. That's what they did, and I don't blame Microsoft for it. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. You know, I don't blame them. I would have done the same thing, like rush it before somebody else gets it, and that's what they did. So yeah, but good for them, man. So but we'll see what comes of this. But other than that, man, another chapter, another saga in the Microsoft Activision Blizzard. And you Xbox nerds, you're still in the woods, man. The jealousy and envy of Game Pass, man, continues. Anyway, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for viewing. Like, dislike, thumbs up, thumbs down, comment. The article is on Rooter. There's a couple of articles on it. You'll hear from me again. It's Sunday. Enjoy your Sunday. Wake up, drink a cup of tea, eat some eggs, bacon, pancakes for breakfast, or whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time. Bye for now.